all right, here's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to start looking at vulcanites. LumpyLand is going to move you through this. We're going to push V, or we're going to push the vulcanite menu down in the lower right-hand corner. What you can see, first of all, is now we have a trio of vulcanite slots from which you can choose to assign vulcanites. And they've got little symbols here. The top one is your attack or defense. The lower left is going to be your espionage, and the lower right is going to be your forage vulcanite slot. You can go ahead and put any vulcanite you want in any of these slots. It really doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason to it, except of course you want to choose vulcanites that have good statistics for those particular actions. And the way you choose a vulcanite and put it into those slots, first of all, you're going to go ahead and click on the slot you want to fill. Okay, so I've clicked on the slot or the fighting slot, and over on the right hand side you can see all of the folks that are now available to be put in that slot. My Lost Shade is currently my best fighter, so I'm going to go ahead and just click on the Lost Shade and he magically appears in that slot. We're going to go ahead and do the same with the spying and the foraging spots. So for spying right now, my best vulcanite is an Alio. Now I have not maxed out her spying abilities. She's got 5,000 spying ability. I should probably max her out. And with my forage, I'm going to go with Lady Medusa that I have maxed out. And you can also click on these individual information panels to show you exactly what information you can see about your specific vulcanite. As you can see for her, I have maxed out her forage ability because she is the queen of foraging right now. You can also click back here to go view the party. And let's see, these little buttons down here are also a little confusing for some people. These bottom buttons indicate the secondary and tertiary activities for your vulcanites. So for the Lost Shade right here, his secondary activity would be to forage, and his third or tertiary activity would be to spy. Down here, the Alio, her secondary ability would be to fight, and third is to forage. And here, secondary ability is to spy, third is to fight. In this case, I would probably maybe switch these guys. Medusa's a little bit better of a fighter than Alio is, so if I go ahead and click that, now Medusa wants to fight after she forages. She'll spy last. It's more about the chain of order of things when you get into a long fight. Who's up to deck next? You know, is it the Alio first? Is it the Lost Shade first? And there's rhymes or reasons why you'd want to do that. You can dismiss and summon all of your vulcanites at the same time. So right now, boom, I hit the summon all button, and when I get rid of this panel over here, look, all my vulcanites are here waiting for me. Isn't that nice? I've got my Lost Shade, I've got my Medusa hanging out with me, I've got Alio who likes to flutter around my head and, you know, get those fun swirlies in my face like everyone. It's kind of like you're at a rave party here. Whee! All right, so now that I have all of my vulcanites hanging out with me, and they are assigned their duties, they will follow me wherever I go, unless, of course, they are actively engaged in spying or actively engaged in foraging or fighting, in which case they will stay where they are and do what they're doing until they have completed. If you would like to beef up your vulcanites, remember you cannot raise the level of your vulcanite. Medusa will always be the same level. She'll always be a level 3. Alio will always be a level 2 vulcanite. That's just the way they are. You can increase the statistics of these vulcanites, but you can do that in My Forge only. Right now, if you go ahead and click on this button to show you the Cinna, it does give you the opportunity to raise these features, but currently you cannot enter this code. It's just not working right now. So if you want to raise the value of the statistics of your Volks, you need to head over to My Forge and you need to do it over there. All right. So now that we have all of our Volks out, let's talk about the new foraging mechanics. If you have been in VulcanVerse before, you will notice that there are no longer crystals on the ground. Crystals were the basic foraging mechanic, if you want to say. You know, you would look for crystals, you'd go click on the crystal, and your Vulcanite would start doing its thing. Right now, all crystals are gone. So, like I used to say in all my videos, you need to press 2 to forage. You can also use your mouse and come down here on the action bar and actually press 2. So, just like before, if you press 2 right now, you are going to receive what? You don't know, really. It's kind of a mystery. Now you can make that mystery less mysterious, I guess is a really basic way of saying that. The espionage feature has taken away the mystery of what is available and what isn't available under your feet. And this is what we're going to do to demonstrate how you can see that. I'm going to move into this plot right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just click the spy button. My Alio is in the spy Vulcanite slot, so she's going to fly around and she's going to basically see what she can see. You notice the first thing that came up was espionage failed. Now, 5 seconds later, I get this secondary information, the plot information. Okay, it gives me the owner of the plot, tells me the plot is not defended. That's important. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It tells me that there are 53 assets left. And now you can just see more information has popped up. It is what is called a common plot. Okay, the resources are mostly common, a few rare resources, but no epic, mythic, or legendary resources are available on this plot. You'll keep seeing espionage failed up there. Okay, what's going on is that there are 3 levels of espionage that you can achieve when you're trying to find out what's in a plot. The first level of espionage takes 5 seconds, and it will fail or it will not fail depending on your Vulcanite's level of espionage, the statistics. After 5 seconds, if it fails, it will try again. If it doesn't fail, we'll move on to the second level of espionage, which is a 10-second search, I guess you want to say. The second level releases the information that you see down here in the bottom center. It gives you more indication of what type of materials are in the plot. And then after the second level, you're going on to the third level of espionage, which is a 15-second search. The 15-second search, when successful, will tell you much more information about the plot. It will give you information about guaranteed loot. It will give you information about random loot, and also what you can achieve by spy foraging on the plot. There it is right there. Okay, it just popped up. Well, I'm gonna stop myself and go back to where we were here. We were over here. We can tell that we've got the wood. We can tell that we've got the leather and the coal for the spy foraging. I'm going to go ahead and just click on forage just so you guys can see. Off goes Medusa to do her thing. If I want to spy forage and get some of those other materials, I can click here on the number 6 action feature, and my spy Vulcanite go ahead and run off there and do what she's doing. Okay, and after a moment, you will see both the there she is with the wood, like we knew it was going to happen, and we got the 1 experience point for her foraging. If you want to walk off while they're doing that, that's fine. You can continue to explore. I can come over here and I can just send Medusa to forage on this plot right here while Alio is back here doing her spy forage thing. She'll come back and visit me. That's totally fine. Okay. All right, I'm gonna run around a little bit and I'm gonna try to find a defender plot. The defender plot is a randomized plot out in VulcanVerse, whereby a wild vulcanite or a trio of wild vulcanites is defending it. A trio of wild vulcanites defending a plot is called a hoarder plot, and we've come across some out here in the vastness of Boreas. Okay, so here we are. We can see this plot is defended by 3 vulcanites. This is called a hoarder plot. Okay, a hoarder plot is going to be just that. It's going to have a lot more materials upon that plot. It's defended by 3 vulcanites, which will come and fight you as soon as you start to forage. The hoarder plot also sucks in materials from the plots around it, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to go next to this plot right here, and I'm going to click on this spy button. And we might find that in this plot next to the hoarder plot, it's going to be desolate or just have really, really low materials, of course, if my espionage wants to succeed. There we go. Look at this, total left, 0. It's because this plot, all of the materials got sucked up into the plot next to it. So this is going to be a common hoarder plot, and I can tell that because it's got 2 fairies and a venom tail guarding it. As the plot rarity and the materials inside the plot go up, the vulcanites that are defending the plot are going to get higher in attack value, more difficult to beat. So we can try a couple different things on this hoarder plot right here. One, I can go ahead and just start foraging. If I do that, the vulcanites are going to materialize and they're going to fight me in order of my fight preference that we had set up earlier. You know, my Lost Shade will be first, followed by my Medusa, followed by my Alio. If I was feeling a little bit cheeky and I wanted to maximize my potential right here, I could bring up my Vulcanite menu right now, view my party, get rid of my Alio, get rid of my Medusa, and put in their place some stronger fighters. So I have a Clethonus here that I will put in. This guy, oh, that is not the one that I wanted to put in. Okay, let me get rid of him. I'm going to put in this guy because this one has 8,000 attack, 8,000 defense. Great. So I'm going to also add in for this other slot down here, this other Clethonus that has 8,000 attack, 8,000 defense. So I can view my party. I've got 3 strong guys right now. Okay, let's get out of here. There's my army. As soon as I click on the forage, we're going to start some battle action. Let's see what happens. Click on the forage. Okay, so immediately Lost Shade goes into attack mode, and it beats up 1 Vulcanite, 2 Vulcanites. Oh, Lost Shade just beat up all 3 of those Vulcanites. Not bad, not bad at all. So my Forage Vulcanite is going ahead with its motion. The Lost Shade is just waiting. Well, I guess the Forage Vulcanite is not going ahead. I need to click Forage. There we go, to get it going. The Lost Shade is just going to hang out. Unlike before, you can now end up fighting again if your Lost Shade or any of your Vulcanites are not maximum health. That's new. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this rest button, and it's going to make my Lost Shade get health back. Because if you don't rest your Vulcanite, someone else can come along, or you know, in a few minutes, those wild Vulcanites can come back, and then you're fighting with, you know, minimal health. So we are sending this Clethonus around to forage. I'm going to send this other Clethonus around to spy. Our first forage was some copper and some wood, which was, you know, not great. Our first spy information is telling me that there are indeed a massive amount of resources here. 200 resources in this block. It was guarded by 2 wild fairies and a wild venom tail. Now, here's kind of the bummer. You're getting 189 common resources and 11 rare. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to hang out here too long. as espionage continues, you will get more information here about exactly what commons are available, the percentage chance of you hitting those commons. We're going to go ahead and stop that. And, you know, the way you can stop that now is actually by hitting the spy button again. Spy and forage are now toggles, and that is new on this update. It used to be that once you hit the forage button, you could hit the forage button 5 more times and it would still continue to forage, but that is not the way anymore. If you hit the forage button twice, it'll kill your forage. The same with a spy. It'll kill your spy action if you do it twice. So just be aware of that. Don't keep spamming that channel. Okay, we are going to move on from that hoarder plot. And you can see we've got a couple more vulcanites out here. These guys are a trio of hoarders as well. Don't fall over the edge. Let's see if we can find any more information about this plot here. Oh, I didn't mention this. You can see claimed by LumpyLand up in the upper left here. And it was claimed by me because I beat the wild vulcanites and I was successful in foraging. Once you claim a plot of land, you basically can continue to claim that plot of land until a couple of different things happen. If you start foraging elsewhere, you're going to lose the claim on that plot of land. If you empty the plot of land of all the materials, you're going to lose the claim on that plot of land. If you sit there for 3 minutes and you go 3 minutes without a forage, that will also invalidate your claim on that plot of land. If you move more than 2 grids or 2 plots away, that will also invalidate your claim. If you log out, if you have 15 successful forages, it's not going to, it ends your valid claim. It doesn't invalidate it, but it kind of ends your valid claim, and then you'll have to claim it again. If you're fighting against wild vulcanites, those vulcanites will come back. Or if another player comes along and challenges you and beats you in that challenge, then of course the claim belongs to them. I am on the backside here of my property of LumpyLand. I am trying to find a single Vulcanite defender, but not found one yet. So maybe if we go into some more of the wide open spaces, if I can find one of those guys, I will try to fight a single Vulcanite, maybe one that is a little bit higher in value. Yesterday I found a roaming Chiron by himself, and I was able to defeat him and grab all of his delicious mythic loot. All right, so we're going to just cruise around to another area and see what we can find. Along the way, I want to talk a little bit about these defender plots. Okay. Okay, so here is what's going to be a much higher value defender plot. You can just see we've got a Clothonus, we've got a Chiron, and a Medusa hanging out here. I'm not sure if my guys can beat these guys, but you know what? We're gonna go ahead and see. First thing I'm gonna do is spy. Okay. If you are on a defender plot, spying can initiate a fight. You know, if you've got high high spy stats, you can get away with spying unnoticed. Sometimes not so much. If you have a low spy stat and they have a high defense stat, the defenders can attack you and see how the fight goes. You know, if you spy on a defended plot and you fail, and if your attack is better than my spy and you're defending me, we're gonna fight. And if you catch me spying, then I cannot spy on your plot again for a period of time. I think it's until the plot resets, which is an 18-hour rotation. So yeah, you know, it's kind of a tricky little thing. If you think you can get away with it, then go ahead and try. And if you can't, then maybe, you know, don't, because you're going to get booted from the plot. Okay, look, I was able to get in there. Now, this is a nice plot. you can see 250 materials, a lot of rare, epic, and mythic materials in here. And of course, it's guarded by some decently high stats. That's a Velocina, that's not a Chiron. That's my bad. Okay, so if it's a Velo, I might be able to take them. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just try. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? So I'm gonna try by clicking Forage, and we're gonna start fighting. All right, so immediately, there we go, my Lost Shade going into battle with Clothonis, and he beat him, that's great. Velocina picking up the ends, defeating my Lost Shade, Clothonis, there we go. Looks like I might win, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, my last Clothonis. Oh, died. I died. Are you kidding me? That was... Oh, man, that was right on the edge. Oh, man. I died. I didn't get it. Yeah, you'd see my name there. But no, I didn't get it. Should we try again? Would it make a difference? I wonder if it's got any degree of variability to it, or if it's just straight up, I'm going to lose again. Let's try one more time. All right. Oh, I'm fighting Medusa first. That's interesting. It's different from the last time. Oh my God, Medusa just beat me. Did you just see that? Medusa just beat up my Lost Shade. Oh, man. All right, I am not going to be successful on this plot, which is too bad. Look at all the purple. Look at all the purple. That's mythic. That means all of those mythics are... Oh, look. I don't know what happened. Okay, look, Clothonis is still alive. The wild Vulcanites are gone. I'm going to start spying on this plot again so we can see what kind of materials we've got. Now, once I've just defeated those guys, I have a little bit of time until they come back. So I only have like 5 minutes or a certain amount of successful forages until they come back and they want to kick me off their plot again. So I'm going to go ahead and just start foraging. I know this is a quality piece of land. My espionage is failing. Oh, espionage failing. The skeleton is not a great espionage vulcanite. I should probably replace it with Elio. She's got some better stats, but you know, for the points of this demonstration, we're just going to go ahead and let it do its thing. All right, some marble and some crystal from that first forage. It's not quite the mythics I was hoping for. Got 20 mythics on this plot of land. Once you get to a certain level of information, spy level 3, spy level 2, you can start revealing information about plots that are next to the plot that you are currently spying on. So I am currently spying on this particular plot. It is a Hoarder plot. If I move to a next door plot, you can't see me because I'm behind this little map, but if I move to a next door plot, you can see I've got information about it. I didn't have to spy on it, but I can already see that there's 0 materials left. Why are there 0 materials left? Well, it's because this is a Hoarder plot, and this plot sucks in materials from all the plots around it, which is why it had 3 Vulcanites defending it, which is why it had 200 plus materials on it, which is why it's hard to control. You can see the purple little spectacle lights. That is letting everyone around you know that there are indeed purple mythic level materials here. So even though you are finding them, everyone else knows that they're there as well. You can also faintly see this beam of light kind of in the sky here. It's tough because it's so bright right now during the day, but you can kind of see this going on up here. That is to represent that there is mythic level materials there. So if you're wandering around the verse, and you see some of these beams of light left and right, and you're interested in gathering up those resources, it's like a bat call, bat signal, you know, but you don't necessarily want to be sending this signal. If you're out here foraging and someone else comes along with an army, you know, like mine, or an army that's bigger than mine, not bigger, stronger, they're going to come along and kick you off your plot, which is kind of not what you want. So, you know, a little bit of a catch-22 when you're out there and you found some good stuff. You know, you don't want to let everyone know, but sometimes you have no choice. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, let's see, so got the defender plots down. I'd like to find a single defender plot. I'm going to turn off spying. We're going to keep wandering a little bit. I'd like to find a single defender plot if we can, or find someone else that is currently claimed a plot so that I can show you all how to kick somebody else off of that plot. So we're just going to cruise around a little bit and see if we see any other beams of light, any other buddy. Foraging. Boreas is very empty right now. Here we go. Hi, Zek. They just rebooted the servers, so everyone is out and about. Zek was not foraging, so I couldn't really do anything with him. Now, I should have tried to fight with Zek. The fighting mechanic has changed slightly. Instead of highlighting a Vulcanite and selecting the number 1 or the fight button, it is now selecting an avatar, an enemy avatar, and choosing the fight button. And when you do this, if you have a Vulcanite in your fight slot, they will go ahead and start the initial battle. If your Vulcanite is not in the fight slot, if it's in, you know, if it's in forage, and then your fight slot is, you know, your secondary or your tertiary activity, then that is indeed the Vulcanite that will go and fight. Okay, so here we go. Right. Pepsi, forager Pepsi, and it looks like they're foraging on this plot. Now, this is a NFT plot. It doesn't look like it's a hoarder plot. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of spying on this plot just to see what's going on, see if I can figure out if Pepsi indeed has laid a claim to this plot. Also just start foraging on the plot if I wanted to. Okay, look, claimed by Pepsi. Okay, 12 materials left. Not a hoarder plot. We don't know what's left, but we can see a blue light here, okay? That kind of tells us, and you just saw it's an epic. There's 1 epic material left and 11 commons. So I have a funny feeling that 1 epic material is probably a low loot percentage. But just because we like to have a little bit of fun around here, I'm going to see if I can't kick Pepsi off of this plot by trying to forage on the plot. So when I click forage, immediately my attack Vulcanite goes against their defense Vulcanite, beats him up, beat up the goat. There we go. And now Pepsi's claim on this plot of land, I believe, should be gone. It still says Pepsi, but maybe that's after I forage successfully for the first time. I will gain control over this plot of land. The fact that it is claimed means that Pepsi had to beat a wild Vulcanite in order to claim this plot, I do believe, because it is an NFT plot, and normally you should be able to have multiple people foraging on an NFT plot. I'm going to let Pepsi know. Sorry. Peepsy. Doing a video. I think Peepsy is not home. Sorry, Peepsy. All right, I'm going to give Peepsy a little courtesy bow. I'm sorry, Keepsy. I'm sorry. All right. So anyway, we just de-seated Peepsy from this plot of land. We did, even though it says Peepsy. I can't claim it until I then beat whatever creature he beat. So, you know, that needs to respawn, and then I can claim that land if I want to. However, it really looks like Peepsy has gotten the most out of this plot of land. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move on. Yes, Tim. Try to shout out to all the little people in the world. Okay. Same with what we got going on over here. Here's that lovely purple beam that everyone loves so much. We're going to try some spying over here to see what's going on the purple beam. Only 19 materials left in this plot of land. I'm going to go ahead and forage while they spy. There's no reason why you can't. Ooh, 13 epic and 6 mythic with 0 common materials. That's not bad chances. I'm going to go ahead and continue to let the spy function work to get me to tier 3 so that I can learn the percentage chances, and also so I can learn a little bit more of what's surrounding me in these plots. Now that I'm at spy level, ooh, there we go, an opal and a marble. I'm going to go ahead and click forage again. Once I'm at spy level 2, like you see here, I can move 1 left and I can see the exact same material for this plot to the left without spying on it because I'm already at spy level 2. I can do that on any of the plots that are directly attached. One here, one here, one here. Okay, same spy level. If you go on the diagonal like this, you drop down 1 spy level. You can see you lose all the information here. And if you go 2 squares out, you drop down. You're gonna lose that right there. You see that? Okay, so at this center plot, I have this high spy level. If I go up to level 3, then I will be able to extend my reach of espionage to 2 plots out. I'll be able to see what's going on this plot just as much as I can on this plot. So I'm waiting for this Vulcanite to get to level 3. Uh-oh. I see you, Kadik. All right, I'm getting ready for you. Crouching for a fight? Or are we crouching in respect? Bow. All right, look at this. All right, so this purple beam has brought the people in. I'm going to go ahead and accept this battle request. It's just a straight up battle request from Kadik. Our Lost Shade's going at it, and looks like mine beat him up because something tells me he has not maxed out his Shade. So again, this is an NFT plot. Multiple people can forage here. There is no law that says multiple people can't forage here. Already at 33.22. Little does anyone know, of course, that this plot right here also has great materials. This one's got good materials, 13 and 6. This one's got one 19, 20, and 2. So pretty good materials over here too. Ah, yeah, someone else wants to fight. Let's fight. Casper Bar. You can get Alio beat up. Oh, see, now someone wants to fight with me even though I haven't healed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's fine. And you can see I'm starting the fight with less than a full bar. Maybe not the best strategy. That's all right. Heal up. Heal up, buddy. There we go. So I clicked accept the fight, even though my Lost Shade was healing, and my second in command for fighting went ahead and took that fight. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was the tertiary Vulcanite for fighting, because my primary fighting Vulcanite was resting. It was actually my foraging Vulcanite. So if you want to find out if what's left on this plot of land, you know, I mean, you can bring this up, but this is an old statistic now because people have been here. So you'll have to spy again. You'd have to go through that second level of spying, which is a 10-second spy. The third level is a 15-second spy. So after the 10 seconds, I should get either an espionage failed. There it is, but that espionage failed. Okay, so it's not going to update because it failed. There we go. So I have to wait for it to actually update to know that it was successful. So you can see here on the duels are still 1 against 1. If I want to fight someone, like I said, I have to click on Kadik over here and then click the attack button. He'll get a notification, and then whatever Vulcanite that he has, whether it's his attack Vulcanite or something else, you know, then that one's going to fight for him. Whatever's not busy and highest up on the line in terms of attack. So I've fought a few now. I'm going to go ahead and remove this Vulcanite and bring in a weaker Vulcanite for them to get a couple of victories on, because that's just me. I'm a nice guy. So I'm going to bring in my goat, and immediately someone wants to fight me. It's not a surprise, right? It's not a surprise. If you are familiar with VulcanVerse, that is not a surprise at all, and it's all about trade winds. That may go away. You know, trade winds might go away. It might get, because it's getting a little bit cutthroat out here now in terms of showing up and, you know, just kind of grabbing the materials you want and things of that nature. I'm going to move over here and I'm going to forage over here really quietly while everyone else forages on this plot and fights for the few resources over there. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of forage over here. I'm going to bring my spy Vulcanite back. I'm going to try to find out exactly what the materials are on this side over here. I'm going to leave my goat out in case anyone wants to fight with me. That's fine. There you go. Another fight. Oh, that one got beat up bad. Oh, look at this forage over here. Halite, Topaz, Opal. See, they're all foraging over there, fighting for those materials because they see that the pink particles and the pink beam, whereas I'm over here. Hey, what are you doing over here? Get out of here. Get. So he came over here, and our Volks are fighting because I had I was for. Oh no, I accepted the fight when I was dying. God, I gotta rest. All right, my problem was that I still had my goat out. That's just not gonna work. All right, I like giving people a free ride, but let's bring back the bad boy. We're here to defend. All right. So anyway, all right. So let's see here. This is a lot of fun, but let's get out of here for a second because it's a little bit of a madhouse. Okay, my lord, look at all this fighting going on over here. Ooh. All right. Let me see if I can't get out of here. I mean, you want people so you can see what's going on, but you also need to be able to do what you need to do. Okay, there are a couple things that I wanted to mention real briefly. I'm not sure that I can show them as much as mention them. I did read in the Medium article that there are certain resources that can only be gathered by spying first. So if you're just running around and you're foraging, that's fine. You're going to gain materials. But as far as I understand by reading that, if you spy first and you gain the information about the materials, it's going to give you a chance to actually acquire those materials versus not even seeing the opportunity to do so. Talked about the spying, and once you're in a certain plot and you've gotten information, you can move across the lines to a secondary plot to gain more information about those. I want to talk real briefly about defending plots as well. So by clicking the Vulcanite menu, you can see in the lower right-hand quadrant of this menu all of the plots that you own. And then you can, if you want, set your Vulcanites as defenders on your plots. So if I want to secure this plot that I have in Notice, I click on the defending button, and it lets me then choose from the available Vulcanites to defend. Now you can see my Vulcanites that are above the current play level are not available to defend. So right now I will go ahead and just say I'm gonna use Cinna to defend this plot of land in Notice. Cinna does not have amazing defense, as you can see here. I have not maxed her out, so 2,000 out of a potential 4,000 defensive stats. For your defending Vulcanites, when they are defending plots, there is a mathematical equation that goes along with this. If someone else comes along and tries to spy on your plot, if your defense is higher than their spy, you will stop them. If your attack is higher than their spy, there becomes a fight. You can beat them. You can kick them off of your plot for the rest of the not the server reset, but the materials reset. The materials reset is on an 18-hour clock versus a 24-hour server reset clock for the overall game. So you'll be banned from that plot for the rest of that 18 hours. That could be 2 minutes, or it could be 17 hours and 59 minutes, depending on when you make that failed attack. If your defender has super high defensive stats, they can start defending plots that are not directly underneath them, right? So if you can view the screen right here, if I defend this plot, currently plot 3324 with a high defensive Vulcanite, that Vulcanite will also defend the plot next to it. It will also defend the plot next to it this way. A very high Vulcanite will defend 2 plots in each direction, so all the way out here. It will also defend the diagonal plots to a slightly lesser degree. There are charts for this in the medium, in the Vulcanite medium. So you can see, let's see here. I'm not going to go ahead and bring that up, because that's just a can of worms that I don't want to deal with. But there are charts in the Vulcanite medium that kind of explain and give you a visual example of how far this reaches. The chart looks exactly the same for the defending Vulcanite as it does for the spying feature, as it does for the extended foraging feature. If you've got a great forager, it can forage just beyond the plot that you're currently on. So, you know, high-level statistic Vulcanites are really going to make a difference in the game. At this point in the game, you can see we've got all sorts of loot that's coming up. A lot of the loot that is new with this patch includes things like quartz, lapis, walnut wood, limestone, silk. There's a wool down here. Lots of new materials coming in. We can use materials at this point for building things. If you own a plot, you can build on your land. Like all of this right here is pebble, and a lot of other work by Awesome One here to create this multi-level building that he's constructed. Lots of wood and other materials go into the assets that he needs to make such a cool build. Another way of using materials is to put them into a chest. We've got up in the upper left-hand corner of your materials, you've got this chest right here. You can fill it with materials and then open the chest to see what's inside. Let's go ahead and give an example. We have filled the chest with a certain number of materials. You click open, and if you're lucky, you'll get an NFT seed offer or potentially a gold material back. A gold is a material you cannot forage. You have to receive it by chests or by quests. In this case, I got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing. So that is what it is. You can see here I've got silver. Silver is a very specific material that allows you to buy bait within the fishmongers. So I happen to be near a fishmonger right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and run in there and show everybody exactly how to do that. This fishmonger in Boreas is underneath the Fortress of the Winds by the Great Sinkhole. This is currently the only location you can fish for freshwater fish. That's leech. If you want to come up to the fishmonger and talk to the fishmonger, you can buy all sorts of stuff. I'm going to go down here and buy some of this viscous ice. You can see I already have 165 out of a maximum of 200, so I'm just going to buy one stack of 20. It cost me 15 silver to do so. I'm currently at my max. I don't want to only buy 15 for 15, so I'm going to say thank you very much. And I'm going to say thank you very much, Garos, Fishmonger of Boris. He says thank you to me, and we're out of here. Okay. One or two more things I want to talk about with this foraging update. It has been asked in Discord, can you forage and then leave? You used to be able to push a button and then go walk around. Yes, you can forage and leave. Your Vulcanite will return to you. You can spy forage and leave. Your Vulcanite will return to you. If you continue to spy on a plot, your Vulcanite will stay on that plot until it has achieved a level 3 spying status, and then it will come and find you. You can forage and spy forage on the same plot at the same time. So right now you can see I cannot spy forage because I have not spied at all on this plot of land. So I'm going to click my initial spy. I'm going to start foraging just because I can. Once you have achieved that first level of forage, you don't need to know anything about the actual type of materials or chance of materials. Once you've achieved that first level of espionage or spying, you can go ahead and directly start spy foraging on that plot of land. There it is. So I'm going to get rid of this plot information, and you can see this window has now opened up. If I start spy foraging, well, first of all, I have to stop the spy. Stop the spy. Okay. Stopping the spy, you can see the spy Vulcanite comes back to you and just waits. So then I hit the spy forage button. I hit the spy forage button. It says he's busy. Okay. That was yeah, that's the problem with using two of the same Vulcanites. I can't tell which one's doing which thing. So I had one as a forager and one as a spy, and I had them confused. So the guy was doing his thing.
take questions from the audience?
All right, so here's my forager. He just finished with his oak wood. This guy is still spy foraging out there. There you go. He just finished with his clay. So there you go. Forage, spy forage at the same time. This particular plot is not really where I want to be in terms of what's good on this plot of land. You can always find a beam of light in a nearby plot. Come on over here. Set yourself up with spying and find new goodies over here. Okay, looks like Kyrie12 says Spy Forge, override Spy. You know, I thank you for saying that because I was trying to stop my Spy and then start the Forage. I couldn't tell. It's a little bit of an interesting thing. So Spy has a toggle. Spy on, spy off. It also looks like spy forage overrides the spy toggle. All right, so someone left this plot of land, 16, 13, and 11. It's not a bad plot of land. I would kind of hang out here. I would suck up some more materials and then move on, or try to find a plot of land that has a pink beam. Squirrel Monkey, was the question about spy foraging?
No, I had a different question.
Kyrie's
about
point?
chest.
If anyone in the stream does have additional questions, please pop something up into the chat of the stream, and I can see if I can answer that question with my extreme knowledge of the new foraging mechanics. Chesting having a daily limit of goodies. Are you referring to how many you personally can open, or in the greater scheme of things, how many can be opened in a day? I believe you personally can open as many chests as you want once you have turned them from seeds to NFTs. So maybe that's not what you're talking about. I know that you getting a seed NFT offer from a chest is a randomized event. So as far as I know, you can get as many seed offers as you have materials in a particular day. In terms of what are in the NFTs when you actually open them with lava, that is based on what is in a specific wallet of NFTs that Vulcan Forge maintains. I don't know much about exactly what's in there or how often it gets refilled. I do know that I was able to get a fishing rod out of one of my chests, which is pretty awesome. And I know that the Tommy Vulcanite is still in there. There's some other NFTs. I got an altar, you know, a lot of pots and pans. So yeah, the NFT wallet, I think we are in a little bit of a lull at the moment. You know, everything is working on Elysium transition at this point. So I know that there is a lot of NFTs that go into that wallet in terms of building assets. I also know that the wallet was not not going to go crazy by putting a whole lot of new stuff in there when we're about to change over to Elysium NFTs. That's just what I would assume, but you know, making an ass out of myself when I assume things, not out of you. So, right. All right, I think I've covered everything that we originally wanted to talk about here. I'm going to go over my notes one more time and see if there's anything left. Of course, if anything in the chat anyone in the chat has anything to ask or wants me to demonstrate, happy to do that. Okay, once your Vulcanite is in a slot, like once your Vulcanite is in the spy slot right here, if you are actively using your Vulcanite, you can't dismiss that Vulcanite. That makes sense, right? So if I go ahead and click spy, and he's wandering around doing his thing, and then I'm coming in here, and all of a sudden I want to change someone out. Okay, I can't change him out. It says the Vulcanite's busy. So you cannot change out that Vulcanite while they are active. Here's something that's actually very new and interesting that I didn't get the chance to show you with all those people over there. Maybe if Kadic comes find me again, I will. Fighting mechanics, as I did mention, fighting can now be initiated without a full bar of health. That's a new thing. Here's also a new thing. You can run a chain of Vulcanites in a fight. We talked about having a Vulcanite that is a secondary or tertiary ability or slot, secondary for fighting, a tertiary for fighting. If you are in an epic Vulcanite battle, your first Vulcanite dies or gets kicked out of the battle, however you want to say it. If you open up your Vulcanite window, you can change out that dead Vulcanite for a new Vulcanite and get another Vulcanite in the queue and ready to fight. So if you've got a whole chain of Vulcanites in your wallet, you can really sit there and hold your ground for a long time against multiple enemies, which I think is very cool. It's actually a little bit of a scramble for me to open up that Vulcanite menu, get rid of the Vulc, get the one that I want in there, and get it going again. So that's good. I kind of like my heart rate getting up a little bit to make sure I can get that on-deck Vulcanite in before the fight's over. Okay, I'm just going to go over my notes one more time. Okay, some of the highlights here. Make sure you assign your Vulcanites their secondary and tertiary activities. It makes a huge difference down here, number 2 and number 3, as to what order things go in. You can absolutely have somebody continue to forage here, a weak Medusa or something like that, continue to forage in the number 3 slot, and then make sure your number 1 and number 2, your fighter, and then this guy, your number 2, your spire, goes to fighting number as his secondary ability, and then you can constantly be changing out as you fight your first and your second Vulcanite here, while your third Vulcanite never gets touched. It can continue to forage, something along those lines, as you continue to swap out combat heavy Vulcanites. Okay, the way you can lose a claim on a plot of land. Here are the ways you lose a claim on a plot of land. You forage elsewhere, you empty all the materials, you wait 3 minutes without a forage, you move more than 2 plots away, you have 15 successful forages, another player contests you and wins, or you log out. Those are the ways that you lose claim on a plot of land.